a lot of men might perceive women as having certain characteristics or want to be quick to label them as scandalous, as hoes, as gold diggers, et cetera, all that stuff. I think a lot of that stuff comes from entertainment, what they see women being portrayed as mostly, and how women are talked about in the media, especially in hip hop, where you constantly hear women referenced as hoes and constantly being talked about a certain way, constantly being, referred to as just, sexual objects. And it makes sense for a celebrity or a rapper or whatever, somebody living that lifestyle, to talk about women that way, because they talking about what they know. But for an everyday person to perceive a woman the same way is stupid, because you don't live the same life they live day in and day out. They see women behaving in the way that you would normally see women behave, because the whole reason females tend to act that way in the first fucking place is because it's a reaction to coming in contact with somebody that's famous. A rapper saying, for instance, a female and shit, all the bitch wants is my money. That makes perfect sense, because they got plenty of money, and it's harder for a woman to not want a man for that reason when they got plenty of money. If you're an everyday broke ass dude, why in the fuck would you compare yourself to somebody that got plenty of money? Don't no woman want you for something you ain't got. And then you always got women using men for gain. Obviously, even the everyday man have to worry about that. But it ain't on the same level as a dude that got millions of dollars. I think the line between entertainment and everyday life and fantasy and reality, it gets blurred, because people, since the beginning of the time, have had a problem with always confusing their life with some celebrity's life, and that lifestyle, it may be real for them, but it's not real for an everyday person. That type of lifestyle is fantasy for somebody that's living an everyday normal life, making an everyday normal income. It's only real to the person that's experiencing it, which is why you should never base the way you perceive things in your decisions of how you treat a woman on what these rappers doing, or what your favorite celebrity, your favorite actor, or whatever is doing. For a dude to be completely disgusted with females and just throw them all in one category and say y'all hoes and y'all ain't shit, that would make perfect sense if you are a celebrity frustrated with being hounded by females who out to get you every chance they can get. You don't walk in their shoes, so therefore you shouldn't even be trying to relate to what they're going through. It ain't even on the same level. Another thing too is, especially when it comes to men and their habits as far as how they pick females and even their sex life, a lot of it's based on celebrities. And what I mean by that is, they might see a rapper, he can go to the club, bring 6 chicks or however many chicks with him from the club, and sleep with all of them. And everyday dude might be trying to do the same thing, trying to fill his phone up with plenty of women numbers, trying to get at as many females as possible. And he think that shit cool. But what he don't realize is his whole reason for even entertaining the thought of having so many women is because he can, and because women throw themselves at him. So he's dealing with temptation on a whole nother scale. So I'm not saying it's right, but it makes more sense for him to even consider dealing with so many women, sleeping with so many women, and trying to be a so-called player. With you don't have as easy of a time getting women, not most men. And it's like I said, you not in his shoes. It's not the same situation. I mean, your biggest excuse for sleeping with a bunch of women would probably be that you just the hoe, basically, or that's just the thrill. You in it for the thrill. With a lot of these dudes who are rich, they feel pressure to do the shit, because in their mind, one of the things I'm sure they thinking is, if another dude was in my shoes, he would take full advantage of this. So why would I pass this up? Just because the everyday dude who want to live this lifestyle, if he was in my shoes, he would want to take advantage of this. So I might as well. Like, that's one way to look at it. And I ain't saying it's right, but it makes way more sense than for you, an everyday dude, to be trying to pull the same shit. And again, these females that's might be sleeping with them, these different females, they doing it for different reasons. They might not even be doing it really because they into that dude or because of his game. That's what a lot of people led to believe. They like, oh, this dude's so smooth, he's such a player, whatever. He ain't a player, he rich, he got money. When they look at him, when females look at him, they look like they see that they have something to gain. And that's why they so willing to do the stuff they willing to do. Whereas they look at you and they don't see that they have as much to gain. So it's a different ball game. too, I think the way men perceive women is just being. You hear a lot of times men and females say uh, this dude ain't worth shit or bitches ain't shit. They get that mentality also from these celebrities. But of course, it would make sense if I'm rich as fuck and women come a dime a dozen, they come easy, like it ain't nothing. Of course, I'm gonna say a bitch ain't shit. And if I know a woman's trying to use me left and right for her own personal gain, of course, I'm gonna say a bitch ain't shit. And the main reason a rapper or whoever would say something like that, that's an expression of frustration. They frustrated with even being associated with those kind of women, because all people know that those kind of women ain't no damn good. You don't walk in their shoes, so therefore you shouldn't even be trying to relate to what they're going through. It ain't even on the same level. It might be certain things that's similar in everyday man's life as a celebrity, but it ain't nowhere near on the same level as far as what a woman wants from them and what a woman trying to get for them. You know, everyday man, for instance, ain't got to go through a female line and about, for instance, maybe being sexually harassed and wanting to sue him or send his ass to jail for rape when they had consensual sex or might not have sex at all. Stuff like that they deal with. They got bigger ass problems when it comes to females, so they have more resentment towards women. They might have more hate towards women, more suspicion of women, and it makes perfect sense. But you ain't in their shoes, so it don't make sense for you to perceive a woman that way. People don't take that into account. Men, they don't think about that shit. And the same thing with women. Men, a lot of men want so badly to have that lifestyle that celebrities have as far as women, but they don't think about the problems that comes with being able to get women so easily and the problems that come with the women that celebrities deal with. If you're an everyday person, you feel the need to base what you're doing on a standard, and I think people feel that the best standard to measure yourself and your life on is based on what somebody else is doing, especially if it's somebody you consider to be of more importance than you for whatever reason, because they're famous and they're rich. You feel like this person is of more value and more importance than you, because if you didn't, there's no way in the world you would be following them and trying to mold your life after them, using them as a blueprint. Really, the root of it is they're looking to validate themselves based on what somebody else doing, somebody who they consider to be of greater importance and greater value than them. A celebrity's life, that's their reality, but their reality is your fantasy. That's just something to think about.